Hey there, welcome to another Tuesday night watch chat. I am your host, Bobby Legs, joined in by my good friend, Dib. Dib, how are you this evening? What's going on? How was your weekend, man?
Weekend was good. Saw a
Yeah,
few.
you,
Went to the boutique again, the Omega boutique. Saw a few Omega watches.
anything catch your eye?
I mean the usual, the 75th anniversary. Saw the
Mm,
titanium world timer.
yeah,
Pretty good.
okay.
We'll wait for a discount.
Of course, man. You need the discounts, right? You need at least four sombreros, right? Four
I
sombrero
mean,
discount.
forget. I mean, I think it's. I think that there was a point which Wolfie made. Um, it's a principle, you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm not gonna buy anything for full price unless and until in my mind it's full price,
Yeah,
or
no,
I don't have
agreed.
any other option.
Yeah, no, agreed, man. I mean, like these price increases that we are seeing lately is kind of I think I understand what why they're well, I know why they're doing it. I just don't know if this is the right time to do it. With macroeconomic conditions and whatnot. And Dib, we lost you a bit there. Looks like. Um, let's see if he comes back in a bit. Um, but to Dib's point, with all these price increases, it is kind of frustrating, especially buying at retail and not getting discounts. Like when you go to an Omega boutique, for example, they're not really giving that, much discount. Last time I was on Omega boutique was over a year ago, and they wouldn't discount on Speedies. Other stuff they would talk about, but with Speedies, they weren't doing any kind of discounts. So it is kind of frustrating. I know the 75th anniversary just came out, so they're probably going to be a little bit tougher on that. But you can wait pre-owned. You can wait
It's
for the price
I
to
think it's
drop.
the fact that, for example, I have my favorite AD that I've been doing business, I don't know,
Yeah,
for the last 4 years.
yeah,
They are not getting the pieces.
mm,
So anything that I would like to buy new
yeah,
from Omega right now would have to go through a boutique.
yeah,
And okay, fine, I pay full price for it. I'm like, what's in it for me?
yeah, yeah,
I want a Snoopy. No, you can't get one. You have to buy more pieces. That's not gonna play with me.
yeah,
I'm gonna wait till these brands depreciate to the point where like, and I make it a point. I mean, I'm a petty human being.
mm,
I'll buy a watch for cheap. Let's say I need a bracelet. I'll go to the boutique and they'll say, "Oh, you got it?" I'm like, "Yeah, I got it for 30% off." "Oh my God, how? We sell it for full price." I'm like, "Yeah, that's me."
yeah,
I like to rub it in, honestly.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
I get a perverse pleasure doing
yeah,
it
yeah,
just because of the last 2 years, the way they have treated customers, at least me.
yeah,
I mean, like, I'm not saying that they've treated me badly, but it's the whole atmosphere. Like, when you
mm,
go in,
mm,
like, yeah, like they're doing you a favor. You
yeah.
know what?
I hear you, man. I hear you. Well, that's for another day, another discussion. Dib, what do you have on? Oh, hey, listen, you saw a movie this weekend, didn't you? Didn't you see Oppenheimer? No,
Oh
no.
yeah, Oppenheimer. Yes,
When
yesterday.
why don't you give us a quick little review of it,
I
and then we'll.
I think it's the best movie of this year by far.
Mm,
I don't think anything's gonna top it in my mind.
okay.
Really well scripted, well directed, well acted.
Mm,
The whole cast came together as a whole, and
yeah.
I'd say it's a home run.
Okay. You think it's gonna win some Oscars? You think it's that
I don't
caliber?
honestly. The Oscars are like the GPHG nowadays. I don't
Nah.
really put too much stock in it, but
Yeah.
I mean, I saw it. I liked it.
Yeah.
It gave a. It had all the right emotions at the right place.
Okay.
So I think it's a must watch for everybody. You know,
Okay. Yeah.
even people who don't like go to the theater and watch a
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah. I think I definitely it's going to be on my list of movies to see very very soon. Uh, hey, what do you have on wrist?
I have my trusty 177 Panerai Luminar.
Looks good on you, man. Looks good on you.
Yeah, I mean, it's still it's one of those watches, right? Like who expected a skinny guy to wear a Panerai all the time? But
Yeah,
every time I wear it, I feel the magic. Like
yeah,
there's very few
nice.
watches that I have and
Yeah,
I currently own where I'm like, you know what, I wear it and like instantly,
yeah,
you just fall in love with it again. Like
yeah, yeah. Say what you will about kind of like the downward trajectory it had taken for a while there, right? And it feels like there's a little bit of a resurgence now with the brand, even though some of the models just don't feel true to um, the Panerai of the early 2000s, right? But it's a business and they have to cast a wide net and appeal to a lot of people. But the Panerai it's such a special look. It's so different that
there's
you
a
feel the
there's
magic. You can't
there's a
feel the magic.
certain charm to it.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
like, here's how I would describe one like a luminar, base luminar, in car terms. It's like a American muscle car. There's not a lot going on. All you're getting is straight line speed, a big engine,
Yeah,
lots of horsepower. It doesn't handle that well. Well, the new ones do. I mean, definitely
yeah,
better than before. But there's some charm. There's some, like
yeah,
you get in and you have a smile, you have a
yeah,
grin on your face,
yeah.
and at the end of the day, that's what a watch should do to you. Like
Hmm.
you should have a smile on your face.
I
Like
mean,
I look at
I
it,
feel it.
like I look at it like my wrist, and I'm like, you know what? I'm smiling.
Yeah,
I don't know why, but I
yeah.
like it.
And you can put any kind of strap on. I mean, any strap combination you can it'll work. It's such a strap monster. Anyway, I'm wearing the Black Bay 58 today with the Uncle Seiko like 5 link Jubilee bracelet, quote unquote. Um, yeah, really, really digging it. Feels really great on this bracelet. Speaking of charm, I feel like this also has a whole lot of charm as well. Hey, let's say hello to the chat, and then we'll get into this little game that we got here that was a suggestion from our good friend Chaz from the Berg. Marceau is here. How you doing, Marceau? Wearing his UN Freak X. Nice. Bill K is here. Hey, Rob from Mountain Standard Time, seeing you. Watching from the Pacific Northwest tonight. Okay. Justin R. strapped in. Hey, Maison is here. Keeping up, staying up late this evening. Underachieving watch collector. How are you? Chaz, what's up, buddy? James is there at the Motel 6 at San Diego. I think he's there for Comic Con. I think is that yeah. I think that's what he's doing there. Hey, by the way, James has got a couple of great Instagram. Go find him. It's a really good follow. Peter C is here. How you doing, Peter? FP Wilson is here. What's up, FP Wilson? BJ, how are you? Yeah, taking off. Okay, we're trying to take off. Yeah. Steve Time Hill is here. Hey, Jim is here. Greetings and salutations to you as well. Big Wrist, what's up, man? Hope the new house is going well. Bruno, how you doing, sir? Uh, damn, but those kids. It wasn't a kid thing. It was actually I was having issues with the camera, and I realized I had a there was a button that was pressed, and that's why the camera was off. And it took me a little while to figure that out. Typical boomer. Hey, Scott is here. How you doing? Wearing his Explorer 36. Dream Juggler. Hola, amigos. Hello. He's wearing his BLNR. Very nice. Thomas, what is up? What's going on? Aren't the kids in camp? Man, I can't wait. They're not old enough, but one of these days, one of these years. Mez9, what's up, Mez9? Mez9 saying 50 fathoms loom. That's what he's wearing. It's been a watch roll. It's been in a watch roll all day, exposed to light from the monitor for a few minutes. Went downstairs to the kitchen, where it's pitch black, and although faint, I can still read the time. Oh, very nice. Hey, Tibbs low energy. Hobby Bobby saying. I think he Jess. I think he Jess. Yeah, I am going with the Summer Slayer attire. Yeah. I also ironically go with the Winter Slayer attire, fall and spring. Hey, Wayman. what's going on? Good to see you, buddy. Good to see you. Um, Scrolling here. I think we got everybody here. Dream saying I mentioned to the Omega Boutique that I was looking for a rebuy of the 3861 Speedmaster after having issues with my first and selling it. They gave me 5% off a new one, so I guess it's possible. Yeah, but I mean, like a few years ago, they were giving they were way the discounts were much more, right? I mean, I know their margins now are smaller on in the ADs anyway, right, Deb? But
Honestly, the boutiques don't need people like me. Like I'm the minority. There's so many people who walk in, they don't know the price of the watch. They just want a nice watch. And
yeah,
Omega, Breitling, these are all great watches. So I'm not their target clientele. Like me cribbing about it, in a YouTube show,
hmm,
they don't care.
yeah. All right.
I'll do what I do. They'll do what they do best.
Hey, Stacy Bolstered Blades here. Hey, Stacy, good to see you. Thank you for the support. Nice meeting you on Dirk and Alex's stream. I was on Sunday night. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate it, Stacy. James Moore, hello, all is good. Seeing Bobby on. Oh, thanks. Oh, we've got some people from the Dirk and Alex show showing up to support. I really appreciate that, guys. Let's see here. Let's wrap this up. Thomas, he loves his Luminor. I'd like to get a Radomir and a Radomir 1940 to complete the Panerai set. Yeah, I mean that's I one of these days, right? One of these days, hopefully I have more years to come, right? Um, I would love to get. I would love to pick up a Radomir, and I would love to pick up a submersible. So three Panoramas. I could definitely do multiple Panoramas for sure. I that's one of the few brands where I can absolutely do that with. Um, hey, Big Risk, he just bought a Glasute SAR on eBay. Got it for a song. Well, congratulations, man. I mean, good deals are to be had for sure, even in the Bay. Hey, Kevin S is here. How you doing? What's going on? Good to see you. Orange Hand, how you doing, man? Um, I'm here for the Bobby Explodes Revolution and the Messina Lab edition. Hey, did you see that? Did you see that one?
I saw that. I don't. I mean, it's a good-looking piece, but there's some things which kind of bother me.
Hey, let's pull this up. I guess I have to go to Revolut. I have to go to their site. Oh man.
I mean, you can go to Hodinky. I think Hodinky has
Yeah,
the
Hodinkee had it right.
article. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, don't talk bad about my boy Waco. Yeah, he's the best.
Dude,
Yeah.
Waco needs to grow up, man. I
Hey,
feel.
no, he needs to be the GPAG member if he's not already. Is he?
Oh man, I think I will jump off a bridge, a really high bridge. Um, if
I think you need to meet him in person. Like once the
uh,
first snort of coke hits your neck, like you're set. That's it. Like
yeah,
he's an interesting fellow. I would like to go out, have some drinks, have some food.
yeah.
Yeah, I
Okay,
changed my mind. I used to be a Waco hater, but nowadays it's
you
like
love him. Yeah,
chill.
yeah. Hey, look, Orange Hand and Dib. I don't hate it. Um,
So I think like it's a design from a piece unique Patek,
hmm
has a very standard Celita movement in it. What I really dislike is that the hands look
yeah.
blued, but I don't think they are based on the reflections that they're getting.
No,
Looks
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
colored hands,
yeah,
and
yeah, 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 yeah.
the watch is I think
See what you
four
mean?
grand. It doesn't look bad, but it did not need lume. So the inner circles they are lumed. I don't know why they had to add lume to a classic design.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't need lume to make a watch look good.
So that's the paddock
So
that.
that's the old Patek. It's pretty like the design is good. No doubt about it. It's just
Here's
you did
one.
not need that. Like why do you need lume on a dressy Patek chronograph copy? You know, and let's call this a copy. This is not a homage. It's
Absolutely.
a copy. It's a
Ab- a-
copy.
Absolutely, it's absolutely a copy. I look, I don't hate it because I guess maybe I like the paddock, version of it, but this is an absolute copy. and I just don't know who, like, I mean, who's buying this? I mean, I guess
Uh,
Messina fans, I guess Revolution
I
watch
think
fans.
that they're making 120 pieces, and I'm sure they'll sell out.
Yeah,
It's a good design at a very cheap price point. Well, relatively cheap compared to the original Patek piece unique. It's 3750 US. So it's not, like, cheap, but it's definitely cheap relative to the original watch. But I don't know. I mean, like, they made one of those weird, not weird, but they made one of those traditional looking. Hold on, I think Topper still has it, and they're just okay. I mean, it's like it doesn't float my boat. It's not a bad watch either, but I don't know. I don't know a single friend that who would buy this watch. It's just okay. I'm
yeah,
glad it exists, but yeah,
yeah. I mean, if the purpose is to, like, well, the purpose is to make money. But if another purpose is to bring attention to this piece unique, this Patek, okay, that's interesting. But I wish, leave that up to Patek to do that. You know what I mean? Like, let them do that. I mean, this is a this is an exact copy.
yeah,
Um,
and
it's just
that's where, like, it's the same with the,
I'm
like,
changing my
how
mind. I hate it. I hate it.
I don't think I can hate the design because the design is still classic, but it kind of annoys me the same way, like the whole Chapek Christopher Ward 12 debacle. I
Yeah,
call it a debacle, but Christopher Ward is like raking in the money. Like,
yeah,
those 12s are flying off the shelves. My point is, they're a brand. They could have designed something a little bit more unique. Obviously, these are all, let's say, inspired from the originals, but this one is like, all right, fine. You make the design. Why do I need to see Messina on the front? Put it on the
yeah,
back. At,
yeah,
at least if you have a sterile dial without the brand name. Oh, 3750. Furlan Marie. They have this design, I think. Close enough. How much are those? Like 800 bucks? Like, if you
right,
really need a
exactly. Yeah,
copy-esque watch, you know?
yeah, yeah. This is like the Messina upcharge. That's what's going on here.
Yeah, I mean, like Nevada, Nevada Grenton, and like the Baltics of the world, they use the same Salita movement too. Salita 510, same
Yeah,
movement as this. Their chronographs are priced around, I think, 1700 to 2500. So you're essentially paying a $1,200, $1,500 upcharge for the Messina name.
yeah, yeah. Hey, Mr. Jones, how you doing? Quicker than drawing. How you doing? Stacy's saying that she has a long history with Slayer. I was at a Decade of Aggression live album recording. Pretty awesome. Yeah, thank you, Stacy. I miss Slayer. I mean, they stopped touring a few years ago. I was lucky to catch them about 4 or 5 times in that last tour. Um, Man, did they put on a really good show. Anyway, we're going here. How does everyone see the recent tornado damage in the Salida factory impacting the industry? I did see an image of that. Mezzanine, I think I saw it somewhere. One of these websites, these watch related websites. I haven't really read into it. I don't know what the extent of the damage is and how its impact is, but I'll read up on that and maybe we could talk about it a little bit more on Friday. Because if it's bad, then yeah, I mean it could be. I feel like a lot of these brands have stockpiled these movements, right? Um, so maybe in the immediate run, it's not going to be that big of a deal with numbers, but then somehow maybe a year or two from now, maybe there is an impact. I don't know. I'm just guessing. Just guessing. The Messina sector dial is so amazing, but I can't bring myself to buy a Messina. I think a lot of us feel that way. Look, I mean, I got to tell you, there is an exception though. I found with Messina. I think their collabs with Harboring are pretty good. And that's and it's more so that Harboring's own design are pretty sterile, right? So anything that you can, gust it up a little bit makes it appealing because I want to root for that brand. So their collab with Harboring, they've done a couple, I believe. I don't mind so much, but anything else, I mean, it might be tastefully done well, but it doesn't necessarily wow me. What do you think, Deb? I mean, any?
I think the Harboring collabs are good, but given how our friend Hobby Bobby was treated with his
Yeah,
Harboring Messina collab watch, I'd be thinking 50 times before I send them a like a $50 bill.
yeah,
It's I'm not gonna trash the brand because I don't know personally,
yeah.
but it's just it would give me pause, at least for me. Again, the designs are nice. If I really want this design, there's plenty of other homage brands who do this design very well at a lower price point. And if I were to probably look into vintage watches, I'd probably find the exact same thing from a different brand or a
Mm,
dead brand.
yeah, yeah.
So,
Fair enough.
and I don't like twin register chronos.
Yeah, yeah.
So that
Hey,
would disqualify the watch immediately.
that stopped you buying from Nevada Gretchen today, right? Didn't it? Was that the one watch that were tossing your way because you wanted to buy something, or was it a Baltic?
Nah, I was just kidding.
I
But
know, I know.
I think the only two twin register chronos that I really want, it's not because they're ugly. They're beautiful, but it doesn't serve my purpose as a chronograph. I want my chronograph to run more than 30 minutes,
Hmm.
12 hours. I want to. I've used my chronos to like time 4 hours. Excuse me, 5 hours.
Yeah.
And there's very few watches which actually don't have a running seconds end, but they do have a minutes and the hours. For
Mm.
example, the Polaris Chrono, Chaz's Gray Side of the Moon.
Hmm.
Great application of using one register to have two hands.
Hmm.
Again, now if it's one of those fancy Pateks, then it gets a pass
Right.
because I
Right.
won't be using that chronograph anyway. I just like
You just
I'm
want
like
to
all
look.
right. It's like like I have a Patek peasants move away. Like
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't like that.
James is saying those golden arches on the case. He thought for a second that's what they were. Yeah, me too. I actually thought that as well, James. That's funny. The McDonald's golden arches. Um, Dib is into Nevada Gretchen Tropical Chronomaster, TGV endorsed. Um,
I'll be honest. I
hmm,
saw these Nevada watches in at the wind up fair. They were not bad watches for the price. Would I
yeah,
buy them? No.
yeah, yeah. Um, Messina de Paddock, hold my beer. Orange said, I knew you'd come around. Revolution is Bobby LR. Um, did Bobby just Oris Messina? No, 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 no. I like their collabs. That I, you'll never hear me say anything that I like from Oris, right? But I like their collabs with Hovering. Everything else is not for me. So Messina, Oris, but I respect Oris. I respect what they do.
I think what really grinds my gears with these brands is not even the brand themselves, but how the marketing is done. For
Hmm.
example, as we were talking about, like looking at Hodinky articles, look at the one I sent you. So Hodinky writes a puff piece, hands
Hmm.
on, a look at Furlan Marie, the worst kept secret in great affordable watches. And like that's like an instant turn off.
Yeah,
Like
let me pull
instantly
that up.
I'll close the browser or like cross that window out.
Yeah,
Really? Worst kept secret in great affordable watches? You steal a
yeah,
few designs, you look like like this is like the how do I say it in terms which the younglings will understand? It's like the hipster which is coming up, like gradually progressing into peak hipster territory. Started, I mean, that's how they wrote it. Like mecha, they started with mecha quotes. Now they have automatic movements.
Mm-hmm.
like they're moving up the chain. Like
Yeah, yeah,
they
yeah,
copied many designs from classic watches, like the lugs.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
They are almost they're very close to the horn lugs of the Conde watch we
Yep,
see,
yep,
and like the teardrop lugs of the Voutilainen cases.
yep.
Looks great. I mean, I looked at it and I want one.
Yeah,
Probably not at 1450 bucks, but it's a handsome watch. There's no doubt about that. But it became handsome because it copied many features
right.
from, like look at that case shape. Like it looks like the Fleurier Tonda, like the
It
older
does.
Tondas.
It does. It does.
Excellent. I mean,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
it looks really nice.
yeah, yeah.
But at the end of the day, I'll know that there's something lacking. Like I can't wear it.
Right, right.
It's a great looking watch. I mean, for
It,
me,
it yeah,
I like
and
it.
it is, man. And if you're budget conscious, right, and you want something that looks good, that is appealing, you know, and it has and it borrows, design cues from some of the greats. I mean, I could see how people can get attracted to it. And dude, I mean, like, and there are people are plugging this on Instagram like constantly too. So they know what they're doing.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, look at Long Island Watch.
okay.
He gets his inspiration, like while he's taking probably a dump. Like, all right, who do I copy today? Come on, give me the good stuff. Looks at the hashtags. All right, let's copy Formex today. With the new one that came out. What's the name of that watch? Uh,
the
Roslyn.
Roslyn.
Yeah. I mean, who would have thought? Like, I did not know Roslyn was a town in Long Island, but it's also a town or a city in Northern Virginia. So I'm like, all right, they dedicated a watch to a very boring city in Northern Virginia, whose I think like best thing they're probably known for right now is Amazon's second headquarters, and they're close to Georgetown. And
Yeah,
yeah, like look at the case. Look at the protrusion on the left.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
like a
yeah,
copy between a Formex Reef and what's the Narcane? Narcane does that same thing.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Uh,
I don't know. I know what you're talking about.
I
I don't
mean,
know the name of the
this
model.
word just makes me feel like I need to run to Mr. Mark and give him the money.
Yeah,
329.
three times. And look, no break from MSRP on this one. So
Now,
you're paying
like
the full
that
price.
that means it's a hot item.
Yeah,
You, my
yeah.
friends, you need to go and buy this watch ASAP. Otherwise, you're gonna miss out
Look
on
at
a
it.
watch.
I mean, this is not so bad, right? No,
It's
no.
not bad. I'm not saying it's a bad watch, but I mean I look at the watch and I see so many
Yeah,
designs smashed into it. Like look at that, like the Glasuta diver
yeah, yeah.
handsets,
It does like that. But
the
look at the
numerals.
knurling. Look at the knurling on that
Look
crown.
at the knurling, top
Yeah.
class. I mean, I'm sure it's done by the best Chinese machine money can buy. Well, within 300 bucks. Look at 99% rating. It's like just the world's your oyster. I don't think you can go wrong with it. I mean, people, I have made a mistake. I think you should stop buying these shitters. Where are my other shitters? Oh, there it is. The Grand Seiko. Throw them out. Throw them out. Get a Long Island Roslyn. You know. I mean, it's like, why does these big brands exist? Why do they exist? Panerai should go belly up. Patek Philippe, they should just be like destroyed, like the tornado. I think Mark maybe send the tornado to Switzerland. Like like all right, you know what? Like I have all the copies. I have all the screenshots that I need to make my new watch. To hell with Geneva. Let's get it destroyed.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I knew you were
Anyway,
going to be great today. I knew you were saucy all day. I knew you were going to be great. Justin saying, I see we completely abandoned the perfect. No, no, we didn't. We didn't. We're going to play the game.
I
We're going to
mean,
play the game.
there's still some time.
There's still some
Uh,
time. Don't worry,
yeah,
Justin.
let's move on. Right?
Let's just read some of these comments and then we're going to move on. Philomar looks like the design watches. Looks like they design watches with AI. Good point, James. Um, They're a great deal for free. Didn't Wilson get one for free? Is that why he's saying that?
Now
Um,
Wilson got the Borealis, and he caresses the watch when he goes to sleep.
well,
So
he's got a very special one. The Messina looks like a full-on Mari too. It does. It does, doesn't it? Uh, does it come with a waxed moist ache and artisanal light bulbs?
that went over my head.
I think it went over my head too. Total hipster. How many crappy towns are in? I mean, there's a lot of. I mean, Mark can. I mean, he's got an endless number of watches of models he can make because there's so many towns in Long Island. Um, just look at that Long Island Charm, Charmin collab coming soon. He has to be embarrassed by them all now.
I think the next watch should be a Massapequa. I don't know how to pronounce it. Um, don't ask me why I chose that. You can figure it
Yes,
out
yeah,
if you
yeah,
can think like me.
yeah. Um, Tana Roslin should assume Mark Aaron. Um, Cocaine's a hell of a drug. The next LIW will be called the White Castle. Don't insult White Castle, please.
Yeah, I
Um,
do have to agree. They make a
don't
mean slider.
they
I
do,
mean, you'll be sitting on the can, but you'll like it when you eat it. So,
dude? They put on now. You can get this like jalapeno cheese, cheddar on the castles too. Ooh, so good, so good. I mean, it's not real jalapeno. I guarantee you, but I mean, it has a kick.
it's
Um,
imitation jalapeno.
Yeah, imitation jalapeno. I have to say the Fulamari salmon sector dial looks pretty nice. If Longines made a thin 42 millimeter version of the hand-eye movement, I'd be into it.
Again, the
Uh,
design is nice.
yep.
I like it. I said that before the day you remember you were there, Amin was there, and I think we
Yeah.
had somebody else. I
Yeah.
still like it.
Kevin, that's too soon, man. That's too soon. The Gilko Beach, the serial killer that just that got arrested last week. Too soon, man. Um, I will totally buy a White Castle collab. Yeah, yeah, why not? Okay. Let's stop sharing the screen. Okay, so our good friend Chance from the Berg suggested that we play a little game, and he had an idea, and it was actually I'm going to give credit where credit's due. Of course, I mean this was something that was posted on Time and Tides. Um, let's see their Instagram account. They may have done a video on this one. Let me see if I could pull up the image. And it's a little game, right? We're gonna play this little game.
Hmm.
Um, and it's basically you have $1,000, right? I mean, I guess they use whatever arbitrary number here uh, to build your perfect walk collection. What are you choosing? So they have an $800 range here, a $500 range here, 200 and 100. Let me zoom in here for you, Dib, um, because obviously we have an AP Royal Oak, we have a Nautilus, a Daytona. I'm guessing I can't really see what that
That's
is there.
a Hublot
Hublot. That's what I thought.
Sapphire Open Heart,
Okay,
for
so
lack
we
of
have
a better word.
the top row. Um, Right there. Okay, so $500 tier. If you guys want to play on the chat, do so. Again, you're gonna build a collection with it. You have $1,000, and these are what the watches cost. In the $500 range, you have a Speedy, a Reverso. I forget what type of Reverso that is, but I'm sure it's a nice one. A Santos and a Day Date in the 500 range, which is interesting, right? $200 range. It looks like you have a Hamilton khaki field, Tudor, some sort of Tudor Black Bay, a Tissot, and
TRX and
a TRX
SKX.
and an SKX. And then at the $100 range, you are going with some of these digital options with a G-Shock, Moonswatch, another Casio calculator watch, and whatever this one is. Is that a Brew watch?
That's the Apple Watch
Oh, the
Ultra.
Apple. Okay, okay. Um, so Dib, you have $1,000 here. Um, and these are your options. Uh,
Hmm.
what's what's your philosophy here? What are you doing?
All right. So there are two scenarios.
Mm,
One is I'm ultra rich. My lifestyle can afford the watch that I'm thinking. I'm going out with Federico every day in my Porsche or my
mm,
Ferrari, driving around Miami,
yeah,
going to a good steakhouse every day, getting a medium rare filet mignon. In that instance, the only watch
I know where
that
you're
I
going.
get, well, thousand, I have $1,000, right?
Yeah.
I'd get that sapphire Hublot, and for the rest 200, I'll get that SKX, because the SKX
Mm.
grounds me to the ground. So whenever like I'm like, oh, this is my humble collection. I'll
Yeah,
start
yeah,
with the SKX,
yeah,
and then
yeah,
like, hey bitches, is my Hublot. So
yeah,
that's number one.
yeah.
And if I were like, like let's say something that I could afford, it would probably be the Royal Oak and the Black Bay 58. That would be the sensible choice if I had $1,000. If I were to select this,
Hmm.
so
Hmm.
crazy, sensible, done.
So let's review. So crazy, you're going with that sapphire cased Hublot
Mm-hmm.
and a what did you say again? The SKX?
SKX, yep,
SKX, and that's your Miami crazy.
yeah.
That's like you're hanging out with Federico in the Maserati, and you have your hand sticking out, and you got the Hublot, even though you're being the passenger. Maybe you're driving him. Maybe you got him to convince you to drive take his car for a spin. You got that rocking, and um, Federico. I mean, he's fully admits. I mean, part of his collection, he has
He
an
doesn't like
SKX.
Hublot.
He
He
he doesn't
doesn't
like
like
Hublot,
Hublot
but
at
he
all.
but he has an SKX.
He has
So
an SKX.
you guys have found some common ground there. Now going with a more sensible pick, you went with the Royal Oak and the Black Bay, whichever Black Bay that is. I don't know if it's a
So
58 or regular
I,
Black Bay.
I, I
Doesn't
found the
matter.
watch in question on Hublot's website. It's called the Big Bang, big name, Big Bang Integrated Tourbillon Full Blue Sapphire. So it has
Mm.
a tourbillon movement, a micro rotor, sapphire case.
So give me an idea. You're in Miami. You got the Hublot on. Like, what does the rest of the attire look like? Like, what kind of shirt, pants?
I think if I'm in Miami, the
Yeah,
only thing that will be, like you have the suits, because obviously I'm a high flying guy. This is a half
yeah.
a million dollar watch. So you have the bespoke suits, and then
But
the
it's kind
only
of
thing,
hot though, right?
yeah, but
Oh,
those are for business.
okay.
For anything else, Miami shirts,
Yeah,
like the Havana shirts. That's it.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's it.
The little
Like
guayabera,
maybe, yeah, like some gray pants, maybe.
linen,
That,
kind of like linen stuff.
yeah,
No, yeah,
exactly. That's
yeah.
it. Like that's
Sa-
my entire wardrobe. You
Would you
know.
wear? Are you wearing like penny loafers with no socks? Are you wearing sandals?
I
Like what?
mean,
What do you?
I like socks because
Yeah,
it gets muggy, right? So you need
sure.
socks. You
Yeah,
need the whole easy breezy vibe.
yeah.
So
No, no.
you walk in, not a care in the world.
Yeah,
You have like $50,000 million sitting in your account.
yes.
That's it.
No, very, very sensible. Like the imagery there. I appreciate
Nah, I
it.
mean the SKX
Yeah,
is the watch I wear when I go into maybe some of the, let's just say, problematic parts of Miami to get my coke. I'm done.
yeah, yeah.
You
Yeah,
know.
yeah. No, no. I like the strategy. It makes a lot of sense. Colin, hey, Colin, how you doing? Good to see you. Colin, already just jumping in, playing the game. Thank you, Colin. You get a platinum day date and a speedy. Yeah. I mean, that's. Hey, can't argue with that, Colin. Um, Chaz going speedy moonwatch and a day date for him. Yeah, so two in a row with Colin and Chaz. Uh, Justin, look, I mean, it seems are you way off base, Dib? Who
Nah, I
knows?
mean that combo
Yeah,
is probably the most sensible choice
Yeah,
in this board.
yeah,
But
uh,
I'm not going for, like, I gave you my sensible choice, the Royal Oak
yeah,
and the Black B58.
yeah, yeah. And look, Marceau's feeling it too with the blue sapphire Hublot, but he's going with the black bay. It's interesting, like the selection here from Tide and Tides because they're pairing up in the same row. You have like a black bay, and then you have like an SKX Tissot,
I
and
think what they should have done is pricing is all over the place here,
yeah, yeah,
because you have like that Hublot is 500,000 bucks,
right,
530K if I'm being stickler.
yeah,
Then you have an older Daytona, then you have a 5711, and probably a Jumbo Royal Oak, because that doesn't look like it has a second hand.
mm,
So the pricing is all over the place. Then you have the Speedy, then
mm-hmm,
you have a higher end JLC
mm-hmm,
Reverso with
mm-hmm,
a complication.
mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean, then you have a day date. The day date should have been in the 800 corner. The
Yes,
Daytona should be down there. Now
yes,
the $200 range would have been something between 2 to 5,000.
yeah,
And then the $100 should be like 1,000 to like
yeah,
0 to 1,000. That's what I would have done. But
yeah.
we are playing by the rules.
We're playing by the rules, and these are the rules as they come. So Chaz, he's tempted by the Nautilus and the Black Bay. Um, Best value on the board is a Platinum Day for 500. Absolutely agree. For with that, Dib got that Maserati body ready for Miami Beach. Oh
Hmm.
boy, Maison AP and BB58 is what I was thinking too, or Speedy and Reverso. Forget a third watch. Interesting that a lot of people are keeping it just two here.
Yeah,
Um,
because nobody wants the shitters on the in the
yeah,
last
yeah,
corner.
yeah,
Like,
perhaps. Um, Electric blue banana hammock with that Hublot. Did need to up his Hawaiian shirt game if he's going to go baller in Miami. Dib rocks the Hublot, white leather pants and leopard print silk shirt. Yowzer!
yeah, why not?
Full linen and silk. Day date and speedy. I need a Dib and Don Johnson collab. Uh, or if you head down their ultra during ultra, Dib will be wearing a lycra or a barat singlet.
I
Ooh,
think he means the Ultra Music
yeah,
Festival.
yeah, I know what he means. I know what he means. Day date and speedy for Time Hill, Hublot and Black Bay for Amin. So Amin with you on that one. Um, Kevin, I'd get 5 Black Bays. Teachers here, 10 G size. Hey, look, I think the right answer is day date and speedy.
Probably
I agree with
that's the
everybody.
most you know
But
that would
but
probably be,
but what's tempting to me is also the Royal Oak and the Black Bay, or something like that. But I feel like this game is kind of pinned that you have to pick two, and more than two just doesn't. Well, it gives you a couple really shitty watches and one good one. It depends. It depends on what you like. You can go Nautilus and two Casios, right? If you want, if you really like the Nautilus that much. Um, but hey, Dib, I think this was pretty fun. A little quick game here, very short.
I
I think that
mean, I looked at that Hublot. I don't think I don't know if there's any video out there, but it might be overpriced junk, honestly.
mm,
But like, if you have the money, do you really care?
yeah,
It
no,
gets
you're right. Yeah,
like, if you have a money to buy a $500,000 watch without thinking, do you really care at that point?
yeah,
Is my question.
yeah.
No.
Scott's saying, hey, get the day date, flip it because it's clearly undervalued. Now you have $1,600. You can get the Nautilus and the Hoopla. Wow, Scott taking it. Scott thinking outside the box, thinking outside the game, the rules of the games. I like it, Scott. I like it. Maison, Daytona, and BB58. Then flip the
Yeah, but
Daytona.
there's no flipping here,
I
right?
know.
I mean,
All
you
right, now
can't.
we're getting carried away with the flipping.
Yeah, I
I mean,
mean,
this is. I mean, you love flipping, Deb. Let's be honest. But this game is
I
is
haven't
it's
flipped
not
in a
about.
while. I mean, I've had watches sitting like for quite a few months now. I just don't sell. Too many low ballers.
Yeah, yeah. It is. It is. It is low ball season. apparently. Hey, let's there's a couple of interesting pieces that came out that I want to get your thoughts on. I think I may have heard your thoughts on one. Um, how about this one? How about this new Longines Master Small Seconds 38.5 millimeter? What do you think about this? I think this is a very handsome watch.
It is a very handsome watch. I do need to see it in person.
Yeah.
I've seen the three-hander, but not this. Obviously, this got released just now.
Look at that one though. I think
Yeah,
this
yeah.
I really I like this one much better than and again, I agree with you. I think we need to I would need to see this in person as well. Because they're not cheap,
They're
right?
not cheap, but they're not really in our world. They're not really expensive either. Like how
Yeah.
much are they? 2,500 bucks,
So 2,600 euro.
2,600
Um,
euros. So let's say $2,400 because we are without tax.
hmm
I think you're gonna get a 15 to 20% discount easily.
hmm hmm
If you don't, I'm sorry, you bought from the wrong place. But at that point, like let's say below 2 grand, you have a dressy piece from a company like Longines, very good design. Don't know if it's as good as the Full and Marie, but that's for you, the buyer, to decide.
Yeah.
Solid watch, excellent case size, because you should remember for all the bigger wristed people out there, dressy pieces are not supposed to be very big.
Yep.
Now, 38.5 millimeters doesn't work on a lot of people, but you know, we can say the opposite too.
Yep. Chad's asking Dib, aren't these smaller Longines peak hipster Dib?
No, no, no. The peak hipster starts from 35.7 and below. I don't think even 36 qualifies.
Flip the sumo, Kevin says.
I don't know. I mean, I keep saying I need to sell it, but I haven't posted it in like 4 months. It's just sitting in the in the closet.
Uh, where is that Sarpenic? Oh, there it is. Um, look at this thing. I mean, such an interesting piece, right? Um, he does some amazing work for sure. Um, wow. I mean, I just don't know if Sarpenic is the kind of watch that I could wear, but I do really appreciate it, and this is much more than my take on Oris. I mean, like I actually like these watches a lot. I just love this. I love this.
I
Um,
think it again comes down to great watch, pretty mediocre movement.
yeah.
I think it's a Soprod A10.
Oh yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
I'm
So
wrong,
proud of
but
it.
it's a 21,000 euro watch. So you're basically supporting Stepan
hmm
with
There he
by
is.
buying this watch.
Yeah.
Am I a buyer? No, but I don't
No.
play in that price range anyway. If this was 11K, you know, used, and me in one of those moments where I need to buy something and this seems like a good deal, I
Yeah.
might get it.
Yeah.
Honestly, I need to look at this watch as a sum of all parts, and for me, the dial more than makes up for the mediocrity of the movement.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, I don't like two-hander watches, evidenced by the fact that I think I'm going to sell my Ming, even
Mm.
though I love the watch.
hmm
I just need a running second hand
Yeah.
to know that the watch is running. But anybody who gets it, I don't think they'll be disappointed at the craftsmanship.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. My Luminor is just a two hand, and it doesn't bother me. However, I've had some other watches, and if it with two hands, and they don't really last long in a collection, they do bother me. But for some reason, because of as we were talking about before, the overall charm of the Panerai, it sticks around for that reason. But yeah, I get it. I get the two hand thing. Like I didn't get it before, but now I'm starting to get it because that one Seiko that I have, that speed timer. Even though it has a lot of other things going on. When it's on watch mode, it just has two hands, right? There's no running seconds, nothing ticking, and that's starting to bother me a little bit, actually. I mean, I know it's working because it's solar and it's always exposed to light and sunlight, but it's starting to bother me. So I get that. I get that now. Um, Hi, Bobby. I don't like Stefan's
New direction.
new
I'm
direction.
completing
Uh,
his
okay,
second
there
game.
he is. Okay, there he is.
I'd be curious to know what his thoughts are because I don't know a lot about the brand. Um, I'd be curious, like
Yeah,
because I don't have a lot, but I mean, looking at it, it looks fantastic.
yeah, yeah. I agree. Uh, Most worn watch for me has been the Longines Aviation Big Eye Titanium. Great watch, Pacific Turtle. That's a really nice watch. I like that watch a lot. Um, No running seconds hand is the new out of spec. Once you hear it, the watch is gone. So Dib when Dib parts ways with a watch, usually the excuse given is that it's running out of spec. But like we know we're onto this now. We're onto this. So now he's switching up his reasons, and now no running seconds hand is the new out of spec.
I don't have a lot of watches without a running seconds hand.
Yeah.
The only ones I remember having are the Mings.
Hmm.
The first Ming, I think I got it in September of last year, sold it
Hmm.
in March.
Hmm.
So it
Hmm.
lasted like 6, 7 months. Good.
Yeah,
Same thing. I got the 3707 end of May. So it's, like June, July. Probably I'll sell next month.
yeah. Kevin S saying I sense a Seiko dump coming too. Well, look, I mean, I may sell that speed timer. I mean, I did buy that just to do a review and just was generally curious about it. But that SPB 381, that little Marine Master 200 MM 200 quote unquote GMT with the green dial, I really like that watch. I've been wearing that a whole lot lately, and I don't know, I really like that piece. Anyway, it's gonna stick around until like I added at least an Marine Master 300, which I'm on the prowl for. Um, hey, Big Riss, he's hanging curtains and listening closely on the AirPod. Hey, don't fall off the ladder. But I think you're tall, so you're probably not even using a ladder to hang the
Probably
currents.
not.
I really like the Ming 20.101 and the 19.02, but those are both too spendy for a Ming for me. Thoughts, Deb?
I think you need to be a proper Ming collector to buy any of those two watches. It's like if you're on the train with a watchmaker that you believe in and they are making something new, something cool, I think you'll be on board. It's the same thing with Ming. Like somebody so for somebody who to whom the design speaks and the 1902, I think that's the old timer. The 2001 is the sapphire one.
Hmm.
So, somebody who likes it, great watch. But for someone like me who is a, let's say, a casual Ming collector, I'd have a hard time justifying that price.
Yeah, yeah.
But like if you like Laurent Ferrier, you like Laurent Ferrier. They don't hold value. Great watches. You know,
I don't know if Hobby Bobby is serious here. Um,
sure. I mean, Laurier is the new Datejust. That's what I heard. Yeah, let's look at it. I think
uh,
Coding has an article on it if you want
okay.
to check it out.
Let me pull up. Let me share the screen. Hobby Bobby, you ask and Dib will deliver. Um, there is yeah, unfortunately, hopefully nobody was hurt. Hydra S3. Mm,
Uh, I don't think it's a bad looking watch. I've had three Lauriers in 2020 and dumped them all very soon.
mm,
But what kind of irks me about this watch is I think it's 41 millimeters. The lug width on the lugs themselves are too small. so the head looks kind of bulbous.
Mm,
I think what, in my opinion, and again, I'm not a watch designer, so people from Laurier, if you're watching this, sorry, but it's just an opinion of a opinionated Indian. It looks wrong. It, like, the watch head is too big, the lugs are too skinny. Just proportions look out of place. What they needed to do was, I think, also the other thing is, these are probably 20 millimeter lugs, because they use pretty much, I think they use, like, all these micro brands use the same type of suppliers.
yep.
So they need a standard 20 millimeter bracelet option, right? So that not, they don't need to redesign anything. So if the bracelet was probably 19, the lugs were a bit thicker, I think this design would mesh much better.
Mm.
I don't know about the movement. I really don't care about the movement. Somebody who gets a Laurier, good for you. But that's about it.
I've owned a Laurier. I've owned the that Gemini, which was a two register chrono that maybe about 3 or 4 years ago I bought it. It had come out, and I really liked the look. I mean, it's these looks, the look of Laurier. I mean, it's tastefully done. They borrow designs. I get it. This was earlier on in my my second stint in collecting. So I really didn't know much better. I was falling into, I was being heavily influenced by whatever I was watching. Anyway, the once you get it in hand, I felt it just feels. I don't want to say cheap, but it feels not like substantial, like not like almost like flimsy. And it's the same feeling I get from like watches like Notice. I think because they all use the same suppliers, like you mentioned,
Now,
Baltic.
I will correct you there. The Nodus watches feels much more substantial than these Lauriers, because
Well,
I
well,
saw the Nodus like 2 months ago.
you're right. I meant to say Traska. I meant to say
Okay.
Traska. That's what I meant to say. I always all these brands just blend in together. But brands like Traska, Laurier, like Baltic, I feel like they all come from the same place, and it's just like
I
it doesn't
think,
feel, you
yeah.
know.
Out of these like micro brands, Nodus I would say definitely punches a little bit above their weight class in terms of case design and construction. The Laurier, the Traska, even the Serica, all these brands, like, they feel like they come from the same supplier. They don't. Baltic, I like
Mm,
them, but
mm.
anyhow.
Okay, so why does Dib have a watch podcast called The Opinion
Hmm.
already? I think James, I think that's just great. That's just great. Hey, Rob, just I'm just teeing up Dib for content. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. No, no, no. It's great when we get Dib on any kind of tangent. It's well worth it, for sure. Um, hashtag peak hipster. Okay. I don't want to say cheap, but it's kind of cheap. Okay, yeah. I mean that's probably where I was going. They just felt like a little bit cheap, but anyway, they're affordable pieces. I mean, and I don't mean cheap and affordable in a negative way. That's not where I'm going.
I
But I
think,
mean,
like, how, again, and I've been very critical about these brands too, is how I look at it is, you have two types of collectors. Somebody who can afford the more expensive pieces once they experience these pieces, and somebody who just wants to play in this field. Nothing wrong with it. Um, you do you, but it's
yeah,
not something I would do.
yeah,
It's not something that resonates with me.
mhm,
And currently, the pieces I have, I don't feel the need to buy a Laurier.
yeah,
Something
yeah.
like a
Same here.
Formax, like, their price point is like twice the MSRP of these watches. Great watches.
Hmm.
Uh,
I second that.
you know what I did with Formax. Like, so.
Yep, yep, yep. Okay, well, look, hey, Dib, great show tonight. You came with all of it, and really really appreciate it. It was fun playing the game. Again, your thoughts on some of these new releases and whatnot. Chat. Thanks again. You guys are the heart and soul of the show. Really appreciate what you guys do here, and hope you guys have a good night. Dib, Have a good week. Are you any other movies this week for you?
No,
Or
I don't
Barbie?
have any
No,
other movies
no.
scheduled. I am
Okay.
itching to buy a watch. I mean, I think it's been like a month since I bought the tuna,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
I have three watches coming in, and I'm really trying to resist, like buying anything, because what I know what will happen. I'll buy something, then
Mm-hmm.
the three watches will come in.
Yeah.
Now, two of them are very, cheap Seiko 5s, the Snoopy Seiko 5 and the SRPK 17 that reissue.
Oh yeah. I mean, those don't count.
Those don't count, I mean, like, but
Yeah.
still, they're new watches. The one I'm really looking forward to is that 62 mass reissue.
Yes.
So I do have the SLA 043, so I'll have two watches which are very similar looking,
Mm.
but like different, obviously, dimensions.
Hey, do you think you're gonna be able to make it to at least the toppers drop without buying anything?
Yeah,
All
100%.
right.
Like
All
the
right.
only reason why I'm not, I just don't. I look at my finances. I mean,
Mm.
and it is like, do I need to put more money into the hobby right now than I already have? I am waiting for some money to get back to me, but
Yes. You need to. You need to put money into the hobby now. Now, Deb.
can't do it. Like if I open a OnlyFans or a GoFundMe, like sure, why not?
Okay. All right, man. Well, on that note, all the fans that are here of Dib, you heard it here. He may open up an OnlyFans to help support his watch habit. Anyway, guys, have a good one. See you guys on Friday. Dib, thanks again, and all have a good night. Take care.